I'm going to be covering potentially 5 steps in a very short video, so I'll be working quite quickly. Take your object, and the first step is simply to take your finger and basically trace your finger over the object, going backwards and forwards, coming and going in different directions without taking your finger off the object. And just exploring this object with your finger in terms of one continuous line. And this is how the learners are going to get their confidence up. That's step number 1, because the next steps are rather scary for beginners. So they've got an idea of what their object feels like in terms of line. The next step is to take your black Koki pen, if you've got one, if you don't, just use pencil, and you're going to poke a hole. In fact, I'm going to poke the hole with a pencil first, just to get the hole going. And you're going to stick your Koki pen in the A4 piece of paper and start to draw the object without being able to see the lines. So obviously you're going to be drawing without being able to see what you're doing. And of course this is going to freak some people out. The idea is to put your object in the position that you would like to draw it, and put your A4 piece of paper in front of you. And I'm going to suggest that the learners start drawing initially for 2 minutes, and the idea is that they go backwards and forwards without taking their pen off the paper, and they can retrace their steps and basically recreate this object by imagining that they are a little insect or an ant crawling over the object. Now you must warn them that this is not going to look like the object. It's going to look a little bit more like a spider's web when they're finished, and that's okay. So here you've got the first blind contour drawing. This is, I probably did this, what was that, 40 seconds? I'm going to suggest that you encourage them to do a 2-minute one. This was my 2-minute one that I did a little earlier. And a 4-minute one. And they're going to laugh, and they're going to giggle, and they're going to look at their funny shapes. Basically the 4-minute one's got a little bit more information. And once they've done that and got used to not being able to see in the black Koki pen and not rubbing out, you can then put the next piece of paper in front of them and do exactly the same thing, but this time with their pencil. So once again, you put a hole in the paper and you do the same thing. So you've done a 2-minute Koki pen one, a 4-minute Koki pen one. You might even want to do a 6-minute Koki pen one. You can see how you feel. And then you go in with the pencil and you do another blind contour drawing with the pencil in the same way. Following that, you can move on to a contour drawing where they look 70% of the time at the object and 30% of the time at the paper. This is a good rule for drawing, a good general rule, 70%, 30%. If they look more at the paper than at the object, they're making it up. So if you could teach them to look and draw, and this time we're staying with contour drawing, and once again they are tracing over the object, going backwards and forwards. I'm going a little bit quickly. You can encourage them to go at the speed of a little ant. And once they're finished, you might want to do this for, say, 10 minutes. Now this is an adult drawing, it's my drawing, and I've done it many times before. This is one continuous line of my shoe, just going backwards and forwards using the 70-30 model until I've recreated the shoe. These are wonderful techniques. In fact, over the term, over the year, if every now and again you could bring in contour drawing, blind contour drawing, you will help your learners tremendously to learn how to see and to recreate something that they're actually seeing, not that they think they're seeing or making up. So have a lot of fun. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of laughs. And yeah, I hope that this has inspired you to see in a different way. I will see you next week.